Oh, hey guys. You're probably wondering why my back's against this wall. Because that's the title of our new segment. So, hey guys, basically, each of these videos that we do against the wall is just about that. So, you ever feel like your back's up against the wall and you've got nowhere to turn, nowhere to go? Well, guess what? There's a verse about that. And that's what I'm going to do in each one of these segments. We're simply going to be looking at a verse in the Bible with the word wall and how it can be an encouragement for you when you're struggling and you feel like your back's against the wall and you have no hope. So let's look at the very first verse today, and that is from Genesis chapter 49, and we're going to be looking at verse 22. Now, if you read in this chapter, it's at the very end of the book of Genesis, and basically Jacob has gathered around his 12 children, the 12 tribes of Israel, and he's giving them their blessing and telling them what's to come. And so in Genesis chapter 49, look with me as I read verse 22. It says, Joseph is a fruitful bough by a well. His branches run over the wall. Now, as we look at this, we see this verse here. It talks about a bough. And you might be asking, what's a bough? Well, a bough, by definition, is a branch of a tree, especially a main branch. So this idea, and this passage actually goes on, this blessing and this about Joseph is a few verses long. But basically, we get the idea here. If Joseph is like this main branch, this strong branch from this tree, and we see that he says his branches are bowed by a well. It's like the main branch by the well, so it's getting what it needs from the well. But also it says that his branches run over the wall. See, sometimes we like to think we're up against the wall and we've got nowhere to turn, nowhere to go. But sometimes we forget that the wall is not so much something that we're backed up against, but it's something that God wants to show us that we can get over. And so how do we do that? Well, first of all, we have to be like Joseph. Remember, Joseph was hated. He was shot at. He was mistreated. And the thing about it is, he had chances to retaliate, but he held on tight to his bow and he never let go. He never fought back because he trusted in God. And we see at the end, God was able to use him to save his people. Remember what he tells his brother, what you meant for evil, God was able to use for good. And so Israel here is telling Joseph, he says, look, you're a strong branch. You're a strong branch by a well, one that grows over the wall. Sometimes instead of just looking at the wall, we need to think about the tree that we can climb to get over it. You know, basically, that's what Israel is telling Joseph. And I think that's what God wants us to take away. If we'll trust in him, he'll make us strong enough. So when we have those walls that are in our way, we'll just be strong enough to grow up and go over them. But we can only do that when we trust in God. So remember, when your back's against the wall, it's got you feeling small. Don't worry, there's a verse about that. Until next time.